Good evening. My name is Father Rayappa. I am in the Kattupadi village near Vellore, India, South India. Today I am going to talk about something from Centesimus Annus, an encyclical written by Saint Pope John Paul II. And there are 6 chapters in Centesimus Annus. And the Pope, in the chapter 4, he discusses about private property and the universal destination of the goods, of material goods. So that is what he is discussing. Pope is arguing that the goods of the earth belong to everyone, the past, the present, and the future generation. Actually, the origin of the universal destination of goods has its foundation in the Bible, in the first chapters of Genesis. And God created everything and He saw it was good. And He gave to human beings and commanded, till it and keep it. So He has given the goods of the earth and He found everything was good. Every creature has its own rights, at the same time duties, and every creature has its own place. This planet is big enough, isn't it? Big enough for everyone. And why should we constrain? Why should we say, this is mine, this is my land, you shouldn't come, this is my country and you need to get a visa? This is all human regulations, it's a human legislation. But God, there is no frontier, only one planet, and you can inhabit wherever you want to. If you want to go to America, who is America to tell you you need to get a visa? I mean, the Creator has given you the whole earth, and you can go and live wherever you want to. If Americans want to come to India, who is India to give you visa? That is stupidity. You can go anywhere. These borders humans created. I don't think God likes this. All these countries, there are 200 divisions. They are called 200 schisms, 200 curses. That is what we call countries. And look at the nature. Birds fly wherever they want to. Animals migrate wherever they want to. The Indian cobra goes to Pakistan. The Pakistan cobra comes to India. The Indian mouse goes to Bhutan. Bhutan mouse comes here. American birds go to Canada. The Arctic bird comes to India. The water flows wherever it wants to. The air goes wherever it wants. The hydrologic cycle, the water cycle, it travels. Then why man should have a passport and a visa? As some officer at the border asks, where is your visa? Where is your passport? Do you ask the same question to birds, snakes, insects, water, air? Now you tell me, who is in the bondage? Who is utterly miserable? Zero. That is humans. So when you learn from the Bible, only one planet. You can go wherever you want. The whole goods, whether it's petrol or diesel in Saudi Arabia, or whether gold in Cuba, we can take it. Humans can say, never can say no. So this is our earth. You don't need any visa. You don't need any passport. If you want to go to Mars or Jupiter or Saturn, probably you might need visa and passport. But why on planet Earth? We are one human race, only one land. Only 25% of the land God gave you, isn't it? But that 25% of the land is divided into 200 countries. 75% water is there. Thank God we live on the land. If you lived on the water, there could have been 1,000 countries. Thank God. I think man has to come to unity. and we are all one country, one currency, one race, one language. Wow, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. So Pope is talking about the universal destination of material goods. He is arguing in Centesimus Annus that private property always has a social purpose. The private property should benefit others, neighbors, and also creation, to insects and animals. If it doesn't benefit to others, there is no way you can own private property. You are not entitled to have it. So Pope is arguing very clearly in Centesimus Annus. I'm going to read you 31, paragraph 31, article 31 from Centesimus Annus. Pope Saint John Paul II writes as follows in Centesimus Annus, article number 31. Rereading this teaching on the right to property and the common destination of material wealth as it applies to the present time, the question can be raised concerning the origin of the material goods which sustain human life, satisfy people's needs, and are an object of their right. The original source of all that is good is the very act of God, who created both the earth and man, and who gave the earth to man so that he might have dominion over it by his work and enjoy its fruits. Genesis 1:28. God gave the earth to the whole human race for the sustenance of all its members without excluding or favoring anyone. This is the foundation of the universal destination of the earth's goods. The earth, by reason of its fruitfulness and its capacity to satisfy human needs, is God's first gift for the sustenance of human life. But the earth does not yield its fruits without a particular human response to God's gift. That is to say, without work. It is through work that man, using his intelligence and exercising his freedom, succeeds in dominating the earth and making it a fitting home. In this way, he makes part of the earth his own, precisely the part which he has acquired through work. This is the origin of individual property. Obviously, he also has the responsibility not to hinder others from having their own part of God's gifts. Indeed, he must cooperate with others so that together all can dominate the earth. In history, these two factors, work and the land, are to be found at the beginning of every human society. However, they do not always stand in the same relationship to each other. At one time, the natural fruitfulness of the earth appeared to be and was in fact the primary factor of wealth, while work was, as it were, the help and support for this fruitfulness. In our time, the role of human work is becoming increasingly important as the productive factor both of non-material and of material wealth. Moreover, it is becoming clearer how a person's work is naturally interrelated with the work of others. More than ever, work is work with others and work for others. It is a matter of doing something for someone else. Work becomes even more fruitful and productive to the extent that people become more knowledgeable of the productive potentialities of the earth and more profoundly cognizant of the needs of those for whom their work is done. Pope says it all so beautifully in Centesimus Annus, article number 31. It's brilliantly written, the land and the work. So, the origin of the universal destination of goods comes from the Creator. Creator has given every good gift to every one of us. And we are responding. We say, thank you, Creator, for giving these gifts. How do you respond? By working. You become a worker and you accept God's invitation. And yes, I want the universal destination of goods. I want material goods. But you need to work for it. So that is what this Pope is arguing in this article. And it's brilliantly written. So always universal destination of goods and the private ownership always as a social mortgage. That is what Pope Francis in Laudato Si he argues. He calls it social mortgage and also social purpose. So I think the work is celebrated in this article, and worker is not only working for his own family, he works for others. Wow, that is the spirituality of work. That is why Mahatma Gandhi in Swaraj and Swadeshi and Sarvodaya movement, he talks about the local resources. He recommends use the local resources. He decentralizes the big governments. He says you rule yourself in that small village. There is no government. So only you rule by yourself. You are the government and you use your natural resources. And there are so many artisans in a village. There is a pot maker, there is a plow maker, there is a dhobi, there is a cobbler, there is a carpenter. Everybody works for others. What I can't do, I am not a potter, I am a farmer, but the potter compliments me. So I compliment him by giving my produce to the potter. So that is how the Swaraj and Swadeshi, Sarvodaya concepts were developed. I think Pope Saint John Paul II pretty much talks about Gandhian concept of Swaraj, Swadeshi and Sarvodaya. What is Sarvodaya? Upliftment of all. Upliftment of all. That is Sarvodaya. So I think Pope is simply telling private property, the ownership of private property is an incentive to uplift yourself, uplift your neighbors, uplift the whole of creation. So whatever you produce, it is a universal material goods. They are destined not only to your family, to your neighbors, to your villages, and to your big market in the city, at last to whole of creation, to insects and animals and plants. So the people, those who have private property, please, when you read it, you will understand very clearly. And whatever you have got right to own, but at the same time, you got duty to dispense, to help others from your material goods. So Centesimus Annus, brilliantly written by Saint Pope John Paul II, article number 31. Please read it, and happy reading, and thank you, and God bless.